What's cracking, lads? We are here with the final part of our combine review, going over our Friday, July 12th, making $300, $303 on this day, finally reaching our profit target after 26 long trading days on this account. We finally did it. So, on this day, took one easy trade, 10 a.m. red folder, bit choppy in the morning, only needed one short with my 5 micro contracts, which is the smallest size I usually do. Had a really confident trade, only took one, saw that we were above the 53K mark, walked away for the day. I wish more days were like this because normally making 300 on a day may make me want to take another trade sometimes. But on this day, it was really, really, really satisfying to make that because it was all I needed. So just to show you the news here, 8:30 red folder, 10 a.m. red folder. So obviously I'm not trading 8:30, but we will wait till after 10 o'clock, right? So let's get on the charts here. As you can tell, I've set us up here to start pretty quickly. I've kind of been leaving my charting for the next days, just for when I do the next videos. It's not so much work for me to rechart everything, but over here we still have all that old, the big sell side levels or buy side levels that were taken that are now, in the past. Finally, this was the apex of our climb. So it's a 1 hour, basically 1 day buy side, which is probably not going to be touched on for quite a little bit. And then here we go into our 15-minute and we see our recent action in the morning leading up to 9:30. I did myself the favor of leaving some fair value gaps here that I saw that were pretty significant on 1 hour and two 15-minute ones. So those might come into play later on. But in terms of retracement, um, to get a massive short in here would be a pretty hefty goal. I don't really see us coming back into discount like this during the day. I kind of just see us coming up a bit and then, dropping down lower. So I'm actually going to write this 15-minute to see if that's something that happens here. So going into market open, you can tell we're pretty choppy here. A little bit of an uptrend, but again, the sell side here at 8:30 isn't really doing it any favors. So I feel like we're engineering that sell side to come back later. So we're going to find a zone to retrace in, bounce back off of. We're already at the 10:05 mark, so let's actually step back a bit. So stepping back just a little bit, going down to the 1 minute, right? So like I said, I don't see us going all the way back into discount, but what I do see us doing is bouncing off of this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So we can put this here, maybe zoom into the 1 minute, see if it's any better. We do have a bit more of a specific zone here, probably this one and this one. Yeah, those are pretty much good enough for me to see. I just want to see what the action is based off of these fair value gaps. If we keep pushing up past them, I'm going to think we may actually come back into discount. But if we reject off of these, I'll know to be looking for my one short of the day to finally pass the account. So just going to extend these over here. And obviously we're not going to go in on any longs here because, like I said, we do not know when we're going to reject. But we can write the fair value gaps down just to see them for reference, maybe use them as an inverse for when we are in a trade. So coming up until 10 o'clock, our trade is at 10:08, I think, or 10:14. But we know the red news folder is at 10 o'clock, so you can see nothing really happens. We do have a bit of a bullish push, but we kind of seem like we're going to reject pretty soon based off this fair value gap action. So this one does get broken. But again, because the action is so aggressive, I've kind of learned that the more aggressive the action, the higher time frame displacements are kind of the ones you want to pay attention to. Because again, the price action is moving so quickly. This 1 minute, I may be psyching myself out by saying, oh, it's getting broken so quickly. No, it's probably just because price action is so fast. It's probably better off to look at the bigger time frame displacements, right? So see us rejecting off of here. just right off that 1 minute too, so that's kind of convenient. 1014 is coming up here. So what I may be looking for here is a SMT to justify getting in a trade pretty soon here. I do not see one, right? So I think this is a bit early to be getting in a trade, considering that I haven't seen any really real confluence. I guess I'm just taking into the fact that we've been rejecting so quickly without actually going into discount that I'm kind of just making the assumption we're going to reject enough off of this, which is not a very good assumption to make. But, I guess this day I was really excited to just finish the account. But again, we're at least trying to have good risk, good reward. For 124 ticks, I'm assuming that's 50, 62, 62 $31 reward, so probably $9 risk as well. I kind of don't like that play though, because again, we could reject a bit high. We could even form an SMT before dropping low. But our reward is simply the bottom of this here, I'm assuming. So I think I really just was looking for a quick little scalp just to finish the account off. And it seems like this was really the exact trade that happened, because eight minutes later, I'm out. So in a higher time frame trade, this isn't a great trade to take. But because I'm probably expecting some displacement back down into a bullish fair value gap like this one, that's probably the kind of play I was trying to make. Just trying to grab this quick little low, see some rejection, go for a small risk, get my account passed, right? So as much as it worked, if I wasn't trying to pass the account with such a small amount, I would be looking for a real trade to take, kind of a better trade to take. So let's just keep playing the action here and pretend that we didn't take that, just to see if we see anything better. So as you can tell, we did come off of that bullish fair value gap. We did push up past these displacements, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them. And now we're kind of up into the discount area, which is what I'm expecting us to reject off of, right? So let's just keep seeing the action come up. Again, I don't want to take longs here because I'm very scared that we can just reject down really, really aggressively, right? So keeping up with ES as well, we want to be really looking out for an SMT, because an SMT during this time could be our only, sure sign that we're about to reject downwards. So if we want to get in as early as possible, the SMTs are probably our best bet. As you see here, we are making an SMT, but on the other side. So it seems like we still have some room to move up. Again, could be a good opportunity to get in on a long, but on days like this where it's so aggressive, I like playing it safe. I think it's a better habit for me to look for the trend, the overall trend. So I think the patience is just more important than the trading volume. I think at first, when you're getting the hang of trading and getting hang of your habits and your strategy, I think it's definitely better to take more trades more often. But this is the end of my funded account. I feel like I've gained so much experience, and at this point, I don't see the need to take trades that I would say are riskier for the sake of experience. I feel like I've already gone through that phase. I've done, pretty much all the work I've needed to do to figure out what I like doing, what I don't like doing. And at this point, now all I need to wait for are the trades that I know I like to take. So again, it's getting really choppy here. We're getting close to lunch already. So basically the whole AM session was literally just running it up. Again, it feels unnatural because if you look on the higher time frame where it's kind of easier to follow the action, not even the retracement back up is coming into discount. So there's really no good way to get into these trades except trading risky fair value gaps that have a high chance of getting broken. For example, this is a better one that's probably not going to get broken if I want to take a long. This is a much better trade to take. So let's actually look here and see if there was a good opportunity for a long. Having this one and this one, I don't think that bottom fair value gap would be tested. I think if I were to take a long here, our best bet would be in this one. Again, keeping the risk at about 13. Reward depending on our leg. So that's a pretty large leg. So I think I would just do 5 minis here, and we can extend down to about 23, right? So let's see if this works at all. Again, watching for more action before we actually get into this trade. So what do we see here? Any SMTs? This is a slight other SMT. But again, when I see two SMTs kind of back to back and they kind of oppose each other, I kind of want to take it neutral. If not, go with the last one. So like when I said on another video, the SMTs kind of hint towards taking a high that are in between them, a recent internal high. I would assume that this SMT means we're going to maybe grab this high. So we do. But when I see this SMT, I'm assuming we're going to grab this low, right? And so what does that mean to me is because we're overall bearish, grabbing this high isn't all that important to me, but grabbing this low is pretty important to me because that could easily be the beginning of just dropping even lower. So that's why the bullish SMT in this case is just going to tell me stay away from a trade at this moment, while the bearish one may be telling me get ready to get into a trade soon. So again, we see some bearish action, so I may not even want to take a long anymore seeing that. Depending on the action, of course, we want to see how we treat these fair value gaps. And it seems like we are treating them okay, right? This one's getting broken, that one's getting broken. So yeah, now these are all broken. I don't think I would want to trade these. Again, we can look at the 5 minute, see what happens there, but if it gets held, which it does, now I may look for a trade. It does hold. We are deep into discount, which is not super surprising because, again, we're overall bearish. So what do I want to look for? Bullish SMT would be really helpful here, but just to see us create higher highs and higher lows would also be a good indication. Even though this is broken, we do hold on the 5 minutes, so I will keep that there. And the next thing I want to look for is some bullish displacement so that I can get in on a trade, right? So let's see what happens here, right? Again, we are not making any exceptions. If we're not making that higher low and that higher high, I'm not interested in taking a long. So it seems like we are making it. It seems like we do have some displacement here. It seems like we might have a good opportunity to take a trade. So let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. That's into discount. Even if we weren't considering that leg, we could consider a larger leg that is still, plausible. Again, though, this isn't very accurate. It's more like this, and this does come into discount, so I would be safe to assume that this may come into discount as well. So if I want to take a long here, I might do something like this, keep this down at 13. Might want to come in. The best places to do is where old resistance will become new support, so somewhere like right here. It's not a bad spot. Again, our risk looks pretty good, just in case we do wick down aggressively. I would be actually okay just making it 90 because the clean numbers are more likely to have solid action. So let's see if we do bounce off enough. Put this right here. We're at 90 even. So again, the risk is we're getting tested, we're holding, and boom. Actually, not there. This high is what we want to target. But see, we have a 13 to 21, so I actually wouldn't like that as much as going for this high right here. Because either I have to go for this high and make my risk to reward better, or even this high to make my risk to reward better, or I have to lower my risk overall. So even if I do this, I'm going to have to lower this to $9 risk no matter what, because it would not be a good trade if it was that wide. So this is a better trade for sure. Again, I'm not going to be having it up to here because I don't know what's going to happen. And again, I have pretty safe risk to take here, a good basis to take this amount of risk. So it means that I don't need to have such a reason to take so much profit, right? So this is a good long. It works. Even though we're overall bearish, we do see opportunities to take quick little longs, so I'm not going to be opposed to that. All right, so let's see what happens. Maybe we'll even get another retrace. It depends on how this leg works out. We're going into our big, our huge, actually, displacement zone, so I would not want to take longs anymore at this point. Again, we're going to look at ES as well. Kind of hard because ES really seems to be running up, so compared to NQ. But it seems like it's kind of just jump, stagger, so kind of just keeping our eye out for the action at this point. It is lunch, so that was actually a surprising trade I took right before lunchtime. But again, it worked out, so no complaints. Kind of want to wait till 2 o'clock now, though, because that is a safe time to wait for the action to come back. So we are just running it up a little too much. Not a good time to take a long. But it seems like here now we're rejecting off our 15-minute zone, so we do want to go into the 15-minute. We are rejecting off of that, so we want to be careful, though, because, again, you see this leg here. We're not exactly done yet. Checking out this retracement here. We go pretty deep into discounts, so the same thing could happen in this case, but we don't know. I don't know, at least. So I'm just going to wait here, be patient. All right, so seeing the action, this is on the 5-minute as well, so now dropping down the 1-minute, we can tell that we're not going to come back into the zone. We could take a trade based off this because it's displacement within displacement, which I think is pretty confident. But again, this is the very first drop. We don't even come back into it, so there's really no chance for me to get in there. So let's be realistic. Now that we see this drop, though, I'm definitely going to make a note of this. But it's already 3 o'clock, right? So this was all a little too choppy for me to trade. This was basically all of 2 p.m. So this is a really risky time to take a trade because this is towards the end of the day. So yeah, after this point, I mean, market is pretty much closing. This kind of volume coming in at 331 is pretty weird to me. So I wouldn't like to take any trades at this point. I think I would actually already be done for the day. So yeah, it really seems like our only opportunity was taking this little long here and taking this little short here that we had. We really could only grab a few scalps on the day. So I'm actually really glad that I took this trade in the end, because looking through the end of the day, there really was nothing great. We could have maybe taken a short here, but it would have been kind of hard to take in my opinion. You know, seeing some choppy action and stuff, I don't want to be caught up in a chop fest and then us to, continue higher. So I kind of don't like this area. That's why, like, if I draw ranges like this, I want to see us break out of that range before I take a trade so that I can be sure of what I'm going to do. Maybe this leg is the best chance, right? Because we're just barely tapping into discount. Something like this, right? Maybe that's our best chance of taking a trade, but I definitely wouldn't take it until it touches into discount, which you can see it does not. So, unless you did this, again, it's just depending on your tolerance, your style, and based on mine, I don't think I would have caught that right. So these two trades are pretty much all I saw in the day. Again, price action is too aggressive for me to keep up with, and that's okay because we can still look at the charts, see what kind of opportunities we can take, and see what we can learn on the day. So I was just really glad that I passed the account on this day. It felt like forever to wait for the account to finally say that I, made it so that I could start the Express. Again, I didn't choose to start the Express at this point. I thought that it was kind of silly to pay the 150 fee when I only have, 20, 25 trading days left, and I have to make 30 or more positive consecutively to cash out 100%. And at the same time, I didn't want to change my mindset to a cashing out, I didn't want to change my mindset entirely to just wanting to cash out, because I thought that that would be a little toxic to my mentality. I think that the fact that I never cashed out this whole time and I treated everything like it was real money felt really, really good to me. So because of that, I ended up going for funding my own live account instead of waiting to cash out from the Express funded to then fund my live account. I think it was a pretty big jump. It was kind of a hard decision to make, but I did talk to, my family, people close to me, my mentor. And, most of the time everyone tells me to just do what I feel is right. And I felt like this was really the right move to make. And I'm just showing you guys here my setup currently, because the next 3 videos will be on these trades that I've taken now that I've moved out of the funded account. And as you can tell, I've been doing really well. So, I never expected that I would be making $1,400 for myself. This isn't a funded account anymore. But at the same time, I still feel like I'm on a funded account because I'm never going to cash out. I'm just growing an account just like with the funded. So it all still feels the exact same to me. It still feels like it's real money. It still feels like I'm losing. It still feels like I'm gaining. I'm still charting it. I'm still making the videos like it is. I'm still keeping track of my progress like it is the funded account. So I'm doing things that I feel like are really good for my mentality, jumping straight into the live account. So it makes me feel like I'm ready. I only started with $1,000. I'm only making trades with 5 minis so far. Um, so I really feel like I transitioned myself the best way possible to the live account based on my situation, because unfortunately in mid-August I'm going to be starting my job, and my entire day trading may be put on hiatus for the time being. So as much as that makes me sad seeing how good I'm doing, life just happens that way. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching my entire funded account journey. But this video marks the end of it. So all of my videos from now on will be on my live trading account. So expect to see these days for my next few videos. And yeah, I know that a lot of people don't even get to the end of these videos because I do pay attention to my metrics on YouTube, even though it doesn't really matter. But I know most people don't even watch to the end. In fact, most people don't even watch more than a minute of my videos. And I don't mind because, at some point in the future, people may start watching it all of a sudden. People may never watch it. But what I know is that I've poured in, this is my 16th video, and that means I've easily put in more than 35 hours into this whole YouTube thing. And even if nobody has watched all 35 hours of that content, or no, I'm sorry, if nobody has seen my struggle in making those 15 videos, 16 videos through 35 hours, because in reality, 16 videos is probably only like 8 hours of content at most, 7.5 maybe. I've poured in over 35 in making it all, right? I know that those hours are all going into my progress. So that's why I do not have a single regret making them. That's why I don't care who's watching it. I don't care if they make it to the end. I don't care. Just me making these videos, me going over my trades, me charting over things twice. It's all helping me in the end. So it's the only thing that's really boosted my progress as much as it has, to where, the first 20 days were nothing but struggle. And then the last 7 days, I've just pumped up my account. And then now this last week of trading my live account has gone really well. It's because I've done all of those things I have to do to feel ready to do this. Because if I started out on this, I would have done as bad as when I was trading in high school. So hope you guys learned something from this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, anything, if you feel like this videos are good for you and you want to see something more. So